All right, back on the conversation. We've got an interesting guest for you guys. Now, Amanda Litman is the co-founder of Run for Something. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Cenk. I'm so glad to be here.
No problem. Amanda, what are we running for?
We are running for everything. Run for Something works primarily with young progressives running for local office all across the country. And since launching in 2017, we've identified nearly 80,000 young people who want to run for things like school board, city council, state legislature, the building blocks of the democratic process.
Okay, I'm super interested in that because I started Just Democrats, which helps people do it at the federal level. But I always thought that you need an organization that does what you do. But let's fill that out. So let's say I'm rando progressive in Wyoming, okay, and I want to run. Okay, where do I go and what do I do?
Great question. So you go to runforwhat.net, you enter your information, you look up the kinds of offices that are available to you in 2021 and 2022. You join a conference call, you talk to one of our volunteers, then we will help you figure out everything from how to get on the ballot to how to get the voter file to what to do once you actually have the voter file in hand, how to talk to voters, what to talk to them about, all the way through to election day. You can apply for our endorsement, and if we endorse you, we might give you some money, some volunteers. We'll connect you to other candidates who are running across the country, and we'll take you all the way through to election day. And afterwards, we'll help you figure out either how to transition into governing or how to wind down your campaign.
Okay, you said almost 80,000. I see the number here. It's 77,348 people that were prospective candidates. You can't do that for all of them. That's crazy. So help me understand, like, what's the process? Like, it can't be that you help all of them do all of that. You guys would have to have like $1 trillion to do it. So yeah, help me understand.
I wish we had $1 trillion. No,
me
so
too.
It's a bit like a normal marketing funnel. We have as of this morning, we're up to about 79,000, so pretty close to 80K who signed up on our website. About half of them have joined a conference call. About half of those folks have had a one-on-one with our volunteers, and those people are admitted to our pipeline and are getting, everybody who signed up is getting regular resources and information and materials about what running for office might be like. The reality is that the idea from thinking about running for office to actually getting on the ballot can take a couple of years. It's not something you just jump into. It's a big career shift for most people. So we know that people who signed up with us back in 2017, many of whom are just now actually getting on the ballot. Our endorsement process is where we really dig in with folks. And we've endorsed in the lifetime of the organization about 1,700 folks across all 50 states, mostly women, mostly people of color. The one thing that does make Run for Something really unique in this space is we only work with people under the age of 40, and we only work with first-time candidates for local office. So it's a very distinct scope of work for our program.
Well, that's really interesting. And is there any issues that you guys, you said progressive, so how do you define that? Let's put it that way.
Well, we have a broad set of value statements we want every candidate to abide by, pro-choice, pro-equality, pro-tolerance, pro-diversity, pro-working families, pro-unions, pro-immigration reform, pro-reducing gun violence, pro-actually doing something about climate change. But the reality is because we work in all 50 states and because we work for a range of offices from city councils and state legislatures all the way down to like coroners and library boards, we don't really have space to have a litmus test on clear policy positions. What we hope is that candidates who share our values will show up in those rooms and those city halls and act on those values in a way that we can align with.
So Just Democrats had only one litmus test, that was no corporate PAC money. Do you guys have a similar one or no?
No, we're really looking for people who are running strong grassroots-driven campaigns. I would say it's pretty rare that many of our candidates are taking corporate PAC money. They're just not getting engaged in the level of offices that we work on. But it's not something we hold people to or against. What we really need are candidates that are running strong, positive, grassroots-driven campaigns that are really engaging with voters on the issues. Everything else can really be taught or learned or negotiated throughout the process, but if people are really engaging with their voters in a meaningful, genuine way, we trust that they're going to be in the right place for their communities.
When did you guys start this?
We launched on Inauguration Day in 2017, so just about 4.5 years ago.
That's amazing. It's almost exactly when Just Democrats launched. Okay, that's great. So you said you've endorsed nearly 1,500 candidates, and how many have won?
So we have elected 515 people across 47 states, mostly women, mostly people of color. And we expect that number to increase by at least 100, 150, because we're going to have about 300 candidates on the ballot this November.
So when you say you helped to elect them, did they go through this pipeline, or do you also endorse people that did not go through this pipeline?
Everyone we endorse has gone through our pipeline. So the people that we track wins and losses are the folks that we've endorsed.
Jesus, that's an amazing group. You help.
Yeah.
They actually tried to figure out how to run through you guys. You taught them how to run, and 515 of them won.
Pretty cool, right?
No, that's not pretty cool. That's amazing. That's really cool. Okay, so hold up now. This is, what are you, like the best kept secret in America? Okay, so when you say help them win, okay, you told them the basics, and that's really important. Nobody knows the basics, like getting the voter file. Nobody knows that, right? And so what is the voter file? What do you do with it? That's already super important, right? But then when you're running, God, you know, especially for a slightly bigger office, you need a campaign manager, you need all that, you need money. So of the 1,500 candidates, I keep wondering if you guys have $1 trillion. You couldn't have given all of them money, right? No, you didn't give all of them money.
No, we gave very few folks money. You know, we've slowly been building up over the last 4 years the infrastructure you need to invest locally, because we don't do it in federal races, we have to really work around each state's campaign finance law. So we've given out some. We've probably given out or helped raise a couple 100,000 over the last couple of years. But the big value add we have for people is community with other candidates, people they can ask stupid questions to for free, and really making sure that they know that there is a network for them that can help them. You know, you're familiar with this. Running a campaign is much like running a small business. It's why we have so many like small business incubators and VC companies that help get founders off the ground. Candidates need that kind of backbone infrastructure support that is not quite money and volunteers and not quite advertising, but is really an advisor you can go to and say, I don't know what I'm doing, please help me. And we have heard over and over again from our candidates that that kind of support has been invaluable. The other thing we've heard from people over and over again, and in fact, in a debrief survey we did in 2018, 60% of candidates told us that a relationship with another candidate was their greatest source of resiliency. Running for office is terrible. It's super lonely. It's really hard. And especially if you're a young person running somewhere outside of a big urban center, you probably don't know very many other people like you who are doing this. So we make sure to connect people to each other and to folks who've run before, so you can really build what I think is becoming a nationwide movement of young people running and leading and serving and making a difference in a way that is revolutionary.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I continue to be amazed by this organization because that is a giant number of wins. And so they're getting some information from you, they're getting some from the forum, and including fellow candidates. By the way, the reason the squad exists is because those are 4 Justice Democrats that had known each other when they were running and leaned on each other when they were running. So that's why when they got into Congress, they were the squad. Now, Katie Porter is a great progressive, but wasn't in Justice Democrats. So that's why she wasn't in the squad, because she wasn't in that group that was leaning on each other. So that's why I know from personal experience, it makes a giant difference that you've set up that network that supports people. Now, of the ones who won, they still had to have had very little money, generally speaking, I would guess, and had just learned it from you guys, and they're all first timers. So what was the sense you all have for what's the most likely route to success? What did they do that you think got them the wins as opposed to others?
Out hustle their opponents. One of the things we really look for in candidates is people who are willing to work hard, knock doors, make phone calls, talk to voters, and connect with them in any way possible. Our candidates regularly will personally knock anywhere from 5,000 to 25,000 doors themselves, depending on where you are and the timing of your race. The pandemic sort of, create a little exception here. But what we have seen over and over again is our candidates, especially the ones who flip seats, who win districts that go red to blue, are the ones who are out hustling their opponent. They often get outraised and outspent because they often get underestimated. But they are tenacious, they are connected, they also really understand the voters that they are trying to engage in a way that I'm not sure their opponents, or I guess the results bear out, their opponents do not.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, if the smaller the race is, the more knocking on doors and working hard will make a difference. That's why I now counsel people, don't try to go, federal level's too hard. Like, there's some wonderful people that can do it, and that's the whole job of Just Democrats, to find those people, but trying to knock on 750,000 doors is too hard, right? But at a local level, you really can do it, and it can make a big difference, and other people helping you can make a big difference. So I love what you guys are doing. Before we go, I mean, you said a couple $100,000. Let's help. Can people donate? Where can they donate?
So Run for Something's 2020 budget was barely $3 million. If you want to give and help make that more, you want to double it, you want to triple it, runforsomething.net/donate is where to go. Every dollar means so much to our scrappy team. We are trying to expand and recruit candidates to run for every single one of the 500,000 elected offices in the United States. It's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of money, but I think we have seen what is possible with 3 million. Imagine what would be possible with the Republican iteration, which has 30 or 35 million.
All right, runforsomething.net. Turns out you might win. So I love it. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Cenk.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat, emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.